Hey y'all, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I hope that you enjoy this video, but I wanted to make this whole thing about that doctor's appointment that I was talking about in my last vlog. I've had some blood work done, I've had my first appointment, and I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys the experience that I've had so far. Yes, I'm sitting in my closet right now filming this because my roommates are taking some work calls, so don't mind this. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and share with you my experience so far. And then part 2 of this vlog is going to be, I'm going to take you guys back for my second appointment with this doctor that I've found to get my results, get my treatment plan, and kind of talk to you guys about what I found out. So hopefully that's interesting. I love vlogs like this, but yeah, I've heard about a lot of other people going to get these food sensitivity tests and just kind of struggling with gut issues in general. So I find it really interesting. I hope this is interesting for you. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the first little bit where I'm going to tell you all about my first appointment. And then the second part of this vlog is going to be me taking you guys to go get all my results. I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit more about what's been going on with me, kind of a life update, if you will, so that you guys know a little bit more about what I've been struggling with a little bit and kind of what led me to make that doctor's appointment that I was telling you guys about in the last video. So for the past few months now, maybe like 6 to 8 months or so, I've had several different symptoms that just kept kind of snowballing and adding up. More things started happening at the same time to where it got to be enough where I was like, this is not normal. Like, this is not right. Something's off. Something's not right. It kind of started out with just feeling tired all the time, and I've been feeling that way for well over 8 months, probably over a year, maybe even a year or two now. I just remember feeling exhausted all the time, and like at any part during the workday, even a weekend, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, I could lay down and take a nap and go straight to sleep at any part of the day. I just had no energy, and lately, since I've been doing Orange Theory, I guess that started back at the beginning of June, I just kind of wrote it off to like, well, of course you're tired, you work out 5 days a week, and of course you're tired, duh, but the more I get to thinking about it and the more like I've talked to my friends who also work out really hard, they're like, oh no, I feel, energized. I have energy, and like working out really helps me feel, like revitalized. I'm like, that's not how I feel at all. So that was a really big one for me. Next, I really started to notice kind of, I don't know how to say this, just kind of an irregular gut. Like a really sensitive stomach, maybe it's the nice way that I could say that, but you know what I mean, okay? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but just about anything I ate kind of upsets my stomach. Even good things, like, how they say getting a lot of roughage into your diet, like big leafy greens, green vegetables, things like that is good for your gut. Well, that's a lot of what I eat, and it just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know. I don't really know how else to say that other than I just feel like something's off. But again, I just kind of wrote it off as like normal, or like, I don't know. I just didn't think too much about it until several different things started adding up, and I started to kind of see like the big picture of this, something's not right. Like, this isn't normal. And then recently, like most recently, I've been having some trouble with my skin. I guess this was probably a couple months ago. I started getting these kind of red patches on me. I had one on my neck. I think I mentioned that to y'all last time. I had one, it's actually a lot better now, but I had one in the bend of my arm. Some other little spots started popping out. I got a really weird looking spot on my foot that I thought was skin cancer for a hot second, and it really freaked me out. But I kind of wrote it off to like being outside all the time. It's the dead of summer. I sweat all the time if I'm, not in Orange Theory, if I'm laying out by the pool and like reading a book, like your arms are up, you sweat really bad in the crease of your arm. I sweat like a horse at Orange Theory. So I just thought, oh, it's like a little skin irritation just from sweating. And then, little spots started to pop up or whatever. They were kind of itchy and like irritated and red and stuff. And I thought, is this psoriasis? Is it like, I didn't know. Anyways, all of that started adding up and I thought, I have sweat before. Like, I was an athlete my whole life. This isn't the first time that I've sweat. Why now? Why is all this stuff coming up now? Which led me to make that appointment that I mentioned with a functional doctor here in the city. So I wanted to tell you guys about kind of my first experience, my first appointment with her, and then kind of what's coming next. So I had my first appointment with her 1 week ago. So last week I had my first appointment, went in, I filled out all the paperwork with like the symptoms that I've been having, any of my concerns, like the vitamins I'm taking. One of the questions on there was like, how do you manage your stress, all this stuff. And when I got to talking with her, she was great. She was amazing. She listened to everything I had to say. And when she came in, she told me like, okay, just back up to like the very, very beginning. Just completely back up. Tell me like where all this began. When did you start feeling different things, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, well, okay, here we go. And I backed it all the way up to 2017, and if you watched my Panama City vlog, I mentioned that back in 2017 I lost a family member really suddenly and really in a very tragic way. So needless to say, that threw me for a loop a little bit, and so I told her, for me, and I'll talk more about this at some point, but for me, I didn't really start my grieving process until about a year after it happened. And so if we fast forward to that year, that brings us to like spring of 2018. Well, about when the 1 year anniversary of her death hit, that's when I really, it just kind of hit me and it became real. I know that sounds crazy since it had been a year, but if any of you out there have ever gone through grieving of your own, it's a very strange process. Like, you can't explain it. There's not like step 1, step 2, it's just different for everybody. And so for whatever reason, at that 1 year mark, it really hit me. And that's when I really started grieving. Anyways, I don't want to get too deep, but this is all part of it. So spring of 2018. Well, between that time and fall of 2018, I realized that I'm having a little bit of trouble. I'm just not in a good place. It was really hard for me to kind of process everything that had happened to my family. And so I decided to ask for help, and I got myself into counseling at this wonderful place. Oh my gosh, can't say enough good things about it. But my counselor was phenomenal. She worked with me for over a year, which brings us to, I would say, early this year, early 2020. So all that time I was in counseling, doing a lot better, like doing lots of work on myself, and it was not a pretty process, but it was so helpful. And beginning of this year, I really felt like I was in a much better place. I felt like I was able to accept what had happened as part of my story instead of like denying that it ever happened because it was so horrible and I didn't want to accept that that had happened, if that makes any sense. So I felt like I was in a much healthier place. And so I'm telling the doctor all this, telling her, the whole story. And I said that really, some of these physical symptoms that are coming up really started like within this year, within 2020, in the last several months. And this was so wild to me. She was like, that's interesting. She said, oftentimes, and I guess she's seen it before, oftentimes our bodies have a physical response, but our bodies operate on a lag from our mental and emotional well-being. She's apparently seen this a lot with other people that have been through some type of trauma in their life. Once you get to a place where you're like, oh, I feel good. I feel, mentally strong again. I feel emotionally solid, like I'm in a good place, It's almost like your body recognizes when you're feeling much better, and it goes, okay, now it's my turn to freak out. And I don't know why. That's what she said, that this could all be a part of me and my body, my physical body, responding to trauma that happened 3 years ago. Is that not weird? I thought that was really interesting. So yeah, she said that it could all be related, and it probably is. I'm a really big advocate for, you know, your mental health, your emotional well-being, your physical well-being, your body. It's all connected. You can't have a problem with one and not have a problem with the other. Does that make sense? So it made sense to me when she was talking me through some of that. And so as far as what we're gonna do, I didn't mean to drag that out so long, but as far as what we're gonna do, at my first appointment last week, she took a blood sample and she's sending that off to their labs to do a food sensitivity test because she thinks something in my diet is causing an inflammatory response. And I kind of asked the same question, like, well, why now? I'm not eating anything, you know, super different that I've never eaten before. But as we get older, and you know, I'm going to be 28 in a couple months, our bodies just change so much. Like, our body chemistry matures and changes all throughout our life. And so it's very possible to develop an allergy, to develop, you know, a sensitivity that you've not had before. And so she wanted to run a food sensitivity test, kind of a gut health test is what she called it. So that's going to tell me if there's something in my diet that is triggering an inflammatory response in my body and making these symptoms worse. So she's also going to check my thyroid. She's going to do a full thyroid panel, which she kind of suspects maybe my thyroid is a little bit underactive as well. So yeah, that's what we did. That was the first appointment. And so I go back in a week from today, to get those results. So I wanted to film this part and tell you guys what I've done so far, what I've learned so far, and then I'll film the second part and tell you guys the results, the treatment plan that we're gonna get me started on, and all of those good things. So I did want to share a couple other things with you. With what I've learned so far, I've done my own research about, you know, gluten intolerances, dairy, and all the other stuff, which she did tell me at this first appointment. She told me that for the next 2 weeks until my next appointment, she wanted me to either cut out or really, really limit dairy, gluten, alcohol, and sugar. And so I've really been trying to do my best. It's hard. I haven't been perfect, but I've really tried to limit some of those things. And so I wanted to share a few things with you. They're not all food related, but these are just a few products that I've discovered in the past week that have helped with some of the things that I'm struggling with. The first thing is a coffee creamer, and I had been putting milk or regular creamer in my coffee, so I tried to make a switch to something dairy-free that I could use. Someone on YouTube suggested this to me, and it is really good. So if you're looking for, this is 0 grams of sugar. It is almond and coconut creamer. So it's dairy-free, naturally flavored. This is the French vanilla. It's called Nut Pods. Yeah, and it tastes really, really good. And I'm a French vanilla gal. I love French vanilla. But yeah, it says plant-based, unsweetened, dairy-free, non-GMO, soy-free, carrageenan-free. What the heck is carrageenan? Does anybody know? I don't. Keto-friendly, paleo-friendly, Whole30 approved, gluten-free. So yeah, just a solid, really good creamer. I found this at my local Kroger. Yeah, if you're in the market for dairy-free, gluten-free coffee creamer, would highly suggest. So a couple other things that I've found. I mentioned that I've been having some little itchy patches all over me and just kind of sensitive skin in general lately. So I picked this up at Target. This is the Aveeno Skin Relief Body Wash. This is just a really simple, clean, gentle body wash. It says it soothes itchy, dry skin, and it's coconut scented. So I love anything coconut scented, but it's really helped. I've used it for the last week, and I feel that whenever I get out of the shower, I feel like my skin is moisturized already, like before putting on lotion. So yeah, it's really gentle. It doesn't have a bunch of fragrance in it that's going to irritate your skin. The next thing that I came across, I wanted to get a fragrance-free body lotion because I knew, as yummy as they are, some of the lotions I'm using with all those perfumes and dyes and like who knows what else is not doing anything to help me. So I wanted to pick up just a really gentle, really fragrance-free lotion to use after the shower. So I did some research and found this one. It's Eucerin Eczema Relief Body Cream, and you can tell how thick it is. It's really thick, which I love. It makes your skin feel really moisturized. It says clinically proven to reduce incidence of eczema flare-ups. It's a skin protectant. It's gentle enough you can use it every single day, and I found that it really helps keep my skin moisturized and feeling good. So kind of on the same topic of skincare and things like that, I figured if I'm trying to get away from some of these really fragranced body washes and body lotions and stuff, perfumes, all that kind of stuff, I've really tried to cut that stuff the past week because I know it's irritating my skin. And so another thing that I thought of was deodorant, right? Like, deodorant has all kinds of really nasty stuff in it, and we never want to talk about it because I love my Secret deodorant. I love using Secret. I've even used men's deodorant back when I used to play sports. I used Old Spice. It just seemed to work really well. But yeah, we all know that deodorant is not good for you. It's got aluminum, it's got parabens, and who knows what else in it. But I always thought switching to a natural deodorant, it would like not keep me from sweating. It wouldn't, you know, keep me from like stinking. So I just never thought it would work, but with all this stuff going on, I decided to go ahead and try to find something that's more natural, just because I made the other switches. And so I picked up this Native deodorant. I'm sure you've heard of it. This is the eucalyptus and mint. It smells so good. It smells like eucalyptus and mint, shocker. But yeah, these are supposed to be really good. I've heard a lot of really good things about Native. It was a little bit more expensive, not gonna lie. However, what you're really interested to hear is, does it work? Y'all, this stuff is Orange Theory approved. I have tested it, I have worn it, I'm like, you know, doing like this in class, like, does this work? It really works. It keeps me fresh, it makes you not stink. And it really does help like as an antiperspirant too. And so this is paraben free, aluminum free, made with ingredients that you can pronounce, which is awesome. But yeah, really good deodorant. I'm glad I went ahead and made the switch. I will probably be getting more of those. Even if the skin stuff does clear up, I think I'm probably going to continue using some of these products just to help take care of my skin. So yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and share with you guys my experience so far. And again, I go back for my second appointment next week to get all of my results, and so I will share those with you as soon as I get them.